everything that happened yesterday? I mean, are you looking at a lot of film? Are you trying to get past this faster than that? Kind of how are you approaching it?
I mean, obviously, you watch the tape, see what went wrong, discuss it. But I think it's more of it's a big picture thing. How can we take the next step? What can we do? Where do we want to go? And what do we want to learn from a game like this, a game like 2 weeks ago, a game like 3 weeks ago? How can we learn from it? Yeah.
Do you have those answers?
Yeah, we do.
What did you guys learn from watching film to kind of get to that point?
Yeah. I think before the film, I think the answer is to evaluate ourselves first, look in the mirror. How can we improve as an individual on the details of what we do through our process, whether it's in the walkthrough or it's in practice or it's on the actual field during the game. And I think one of the biggest messages was to not freak out and just stick to the process, improve upon the process, reflect upon the process, and take it upon yourself to do what you can to do the right stuff more consistently.
Is it hard not to freak out after 3 losses like that, especially the last one?
For me, personally, it's not hard. I mean, there's 18 games in a season. These could be the only 3 games we lose. That's how I look at it. I think it's just about how we respond as a team, how we respond as a unit. Obviously, in the NFL, the business, the structure of it, the fans, all that sort of stuff, there's going to be a lot of noise. But for me personally, like after the loss, obviously it hurts and it's frustrating the way we lost and that sort of stuff. But the way I look at it is like we can only lose 3 games this season. We can still win every single game. But obviously that comes down to doing the right things in and out, practice, and then taking it 1 week at a time.
Is there a difference in the kind of hurt or frustration you would feel if it's 3 straight blowout losses versus 3 straight walk-off field goal close games?
I mean, obviously it's going to be different, but at the same time, like as a competitor, you don't want to lose. As a team, you don't want to lose, and it's frustrating. But I think we've done a really good job of being resilient in the fact of like we come in on Monday morning, watch the tape, and then Wednesday, like, we're back to it. And, I mean, we're ready to work. So I think that's what we've been doing a good job of, and I think if we continue to do that and obviously improve upon that process, we're going to be just fine.
How tough was it to see Tip go down and just thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I was on the field. I got pretty emotional with him. Tried to be as close as I could during the moment, just to let him know I was there. But, I mean, Tip's one of the guys that tries to do everything right, and, I mean, he has his own routine that's completely different from everybody else's. But he does it. He's a guy that does everything right. Works his ass off in the weight room. Works his ass off on the field. And for me, I was reflecting on it last night. It was a similar situation with James. Like, you have a guy that does everything right, works his ass off, and sometimes things just don't go the right way. And whatever you want to say that is a result of, that's up in the air. But for me, I think there's always a lesson behind it, and it's a learning moment for not only those guys, but for players to not take anything for granted. So obviously, to answer your question, like it was tough for sure, and I want to carry the torch of what he represents for the offense, being a physical guy, being a mauler, and doing everything right. So hopefully, I can attest to that and continue to improve upon my game in that way.
Sounds like you're in a good place with this, but as you're leaving the stadium last night, driving home, lying in bed, are you thinking to yourself, well, how did we just lose that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I was actually texting Zaven all day yesterday after the game, and one of the things that we were talking about was just like, it's just, you're kind of in a state of shock. After any game, win or lose, like, for like 3 or 4 hours, you have so much adrenaline, and you can't really like just relax. Sometimes you can't go to sleep at night. It's just tough to settle down. And yesterday was just like kind of a shock. You watch the replays of like everything that happened, and it's like, how did this, from the fumble to the the touchdown being Amari letting the touchdown go. It's like so many things had to go wrong for the game to end up the way that it did, and for it to all to happen that way, it's just like kind of a shock. So yeah, I think we was shocked for a couple hours after the game and just had to put it to bed, go to sleep, and then wake up the next day and obviously digest the film and move on from it.
What was all that like in real time when you're on the field and it's kind of happening right then and there live?
It's tough. Like, I remember talking to Mike. Mark's situation happened, and at the time, like, we were still up. Like, I think it was a 3-possession game or something like that. And I'm like, damn, like, that sucks, but like we're gonna be all right, right? And then in hindsight, you see everything kind of happen here, a little play here, a little play there, and you see how everything came together to happen the way that it did and result in a loss for us. And it's definitely frustrating, and it's unfortunate, but I think with anything that it can be something that we learn from and grow from.
What do you feel like needs to happen on the sideline when, moment after moment like that continues to happen, like going forward for things not to snowball?
Yeah, I don't think it really snowballed as a result of us not taking initiative to do anything on the sideline, but I think what we do on the sideline, just staying together, I think we do a great job of that. But obviously there's improvement to be made everywhere, and I think that's something that we can continue to improve on.
Do you sense any difference in level of frustration with Jonathan Gannon when it's, I guess the message for almost every game this season now has been finish, we need to finish better,
Mhm.
when it's kind of the
Yeah.
repeated message? Do
Yeah.
you sense any difference in them?
It's across the whole team. Like, you lose in the same fashion multiple times. We won in the same fashion. Like, we had to close out a game, and obviously we did that the first 2 games, and then the rest of the games don't go our way. So the fact that we're getting in that situation and obviously failing for 3 times now, it's frustrating because you're doing the same thing over and over, or you're getting the same results over and over. And I think what we're doing, the process that we're doing has been spot on, and the results are showing that we thought that what we were doing is spot on. The how can I say this? I think that the results are teaching us that what we're trying to do isn't working, and though we are improving our process, it still needs to get improved, if that makes sense. So I think though we've continued to improve our process, the results aren't showing the way that we want. So to go back to the earlier question, it's okay, we really need to look in the mirror, figure out what we need to continue to improve on and continue to improve, or else it's not going to work out. So.
I'm sorry. I know JG told us yesterday after the game that one of the messages he was giving you guys was the clock was ticking. And I'm curious, do you guys, I'm sure you had mentioned earlier, you understand that there's the fans and the business side, so I'm sure there's a level of understanding there. Does it hit harder when you're hearing something like that from the coach?
It's different for all players. For me personally, like, I understand the business of the league, and I think most players do. But to let that affect your game is a completely different thing. To understand it and let it impact the way you play and the way you feel on a day-to-day basis is completely different. If you operate with that cloud above you, like, you're not going to perform to the best of your ability. And I think JG was just acknowledging that because maybe some guys think that things are sweet and maybe some guys are complacent. And I don't think that's the case in our room, but I do think JG did a great job in bringing that to light just to allow guys to push a little bit harder.